The new Olivia Rodrigo album is out. It's out and about. And because this record is so fresh and the reception is yet to be clear, I want to talk about 5 pretty major sophomore slumps. Starting with Third Eye Blind's Blue, unfortunately, this iconic alternative 90s rock band failed to come through with the same level of hit power that they did on their debut. I mean, it's not a total fall from grace. The performances and singing and songwriting are all mostly there, but yeah, this just didn't hold a candle to the first album, which is also the case for this Yeah Yeah Yeahs record, unfortunately. However, few records are as raw and explosive and as exciting as Fever to Tell. I imagine coming up with a proper follow-up to that record that would not only bring the same level of excitement, but commercially appeal to the band's newfound audience was probably a difficult tightrope to walk. Now, The Clash's Give 'Em Enough Rope is technically a sophomore slump, but it's one that I don't totally agree with, because I think this record is actually very good and kind of underrated. It's actually more interesting and dynamic and subtle and nuanced than their very basic meat and potatoes punk debut. And I don't think the band would have been able to come out with one of the greatest albums of all time, London Calling, if not for this transition point of a record, which does have a lot of good songs on it. Look, I understand it's one of their better records, and the years have been pretty kind to this album, but it was not as much of an artistic splash, nor was it as exciting as 36 Chambers. But again, this is kind of one of those sophomore slump situations where you can't help but have a sophomore slump because the first record you put out is just so incredibly fantastic and game-changing. This final one, I guess, is kind of hard to justify because Billie Eilish is still one of the biggest and most successful and most beloved pop artists out there today. But I do truly believe in my heart that this album is not as good or as focused or as well produced as her debut album. And even if it is just like a little bit of a slump, it's a slump all the same.